Welcome to another exciting episode with me, Dr. Clement Asemnyra, right here on Fashion ÉCOLE channel. Today we are going to learn something that gives me so much joy. If you're a pattern maker or a fashion designer, you're going to find this episode so helpful. I get a lot of designers telling me I need a size 8 dress form, size 10 dress form, and I go like, why do you need all the sizes? Your ability to understand how to re-customize or custom your dress form for custom fit is very, very important. Today I'm going to teach you some little tricks of how to remodify your dress form to suit that specific client you have that doesn't match your dress form. Let's do this after the break. Welcome back from the break. Dress form manufacturers don't consider you when they are making or designing their dress form. They produce their dress form in standard sizes, and if you're in Africa or if you're in some part of the world, you will realize you'll be working with women who are highly endowed. And the question is, you're working with a client who has a broader hips, a broader bust, an undefined waist. What do you do if you want to drape pattern or if you want to create designs using the dress form? Your ability to understand how to remodel your dress form is very, very essential. So let's try and address some of the body changes or special effects on the body which needs remodernization on our dress form. So we have broader bust, we have undefined waist, we have overly dropped shoulders. You can have a client who have an overly dropped shoulder. We have clients who have very broad hips and also broad backs. So let's see, we are going to start by addressing overly dropped shoulder line. So if you have a client with an overly dropped shoulder line, what we are going to use for this our lesson is the felt, the padding. It's available in the market. You can get them in white and black, ash, any color. You can get this from Sogazem. They do deliveries as well, so you can contact them. I'll put the address in the description box below. So first, this is our dress form, and I have this pattern. If you are working on a symmetrical design, you wouldn't need a full block. Rather, we will need a half block. But if we are working on an asymmetrical design, you rather need a full block so you could visualize your design fully. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work on a half block. So I'm going to start with the shoulder. This is my padding. I'm going to reduce my pad a bit with my scissors. So this pad looks very dense. I'll divide it into two, having the center line. I'm going to reposition the center line here like this. So if my clients have an overly dropped shoulder, having this done naturally lifts the shoulder. So if you're making jackets, if you're making dresses or tops that you need structure or the shoulder standing straight, doing a technique like this will help you get the perfect pattern for your work. Now let's move on to the waist. This dress form here has a very defined waist, but my client doesn't have a defined waist. So I need to break the snatchness you see here so that we can have a bit of bulge or fullness around the midriff. I'm going to do that with my felt. You can pick the layers based on the bulge you want to create. So I'm going to work from the center front line. So you see, I've introduced a bit of excess or bulge here. But this is still not enough because I want to have more bulginess at the waistline. So I can still pick 2 pieces and we go on. I move on to the back. The same direction, I will pick another 2 pieces of felt, making sure this meets with that of the front. I can now let this lie straight. Observing this, you can see the defined waist the dress form naturally had. So here we go. I have defined or I have changed the natural waistline or midriff direction of this into more bulginess or more undefined. Now we move on to the bust. You know, when you buy your dress forms, many a times the busts are not defined, or you are working for clients who have a bust size bigger than the natural size of your dress form. We have shell caps in the market. The shell caps comes in different sizes, and I get a lot of creatives contacting me and letting me understand that there are some sizes that are not readily available. The trick to this is rely on fast fashion brands. We have fast fashion brands that produce braziers or caps for different sizes people. So once you get this, you can cut them and you can use it for your work. So I'm working for a client who has a bit broader or larger bust. So I'm going to use a cap which is a bit broader just to define the bust area. So this goes. And always when you are plotting caps which has the circular cut and stitch line like this, make sure the orientation of this flows with your seam line in the dummy. If you don't have a seam line, it means you have to drape your seam line on your dress form. So I have defined the bust. When I measure the original size of this bust and remeasure this with the cap, you're going to realize it wouldn't be the same, meaning I have increased the size of the bust, and I've been able to achieve this by the help of my shell cap. Now let's move on to another challenge. You have a client who has like broader hips and you don't know what to do because your dress form has a very flat and an undefined hip. First, you need to understand or know where your client's hip line is, because some have drop hip lines, some have high hip lines. So you need to measure and know where to actually position the paddings. I'm going to use 8. So I'll pick 2 layers of my pad as well. I will divide it into 2, making sure the middle matches with the seam line. I'll pick another 2 layers to meet this side as well. I could add more and more just to increase it based on what I need. And the leaf, I am going to move to the back. Imagine you have a client who has who walks or naturally have their bust out. It means you would have to hold a lot of excess at their back. Or you have a client who equally has their posture like this. It means you need to hold a lot of excess. So you can have some who have bulge at their back. So I'm going to create a bulge. Probably I'm making a pattern for a client who has bulge at their back. I'm going to divide this into 2. Like I said, it's a symmetrical design, so I don't have to work on the left and work on the right. I just have to focus on one side and have it duplicated to the other side. So by doing this, I've introduced bulge to the back. If you drape a pattern on this, you will have that bulge of fullness in there. And when the person or your client fits this, you realize it will fit them perfectly instead of working with the very flat, natural back this dress form had. Last but not the least, we are going to the bat. So you equally have to divide your felt into 2. So here you can see I have remodeled or increased the bat size. So I started by first addressing the shoulder, an overly dropped shoulder. I increased it by making the shoulder straight. Then moved to the waist that is undefined, a waist that is a bit bulged out. So this was what I did. From the waist we went to the bust. If the bust is a bit large, you can get a cup that is of the size of your client and you can pin it on there. Then we move to the hip. I increased the hip with the felt as well. Then straight to the back, because my client has a bulge. I created the bulge here. Then to the back as well. So you can increase this as much as you want based on the size you are working for. And if you have knowledge on this, trust me, draping or making patterns or fitting pieces on your dress form is more fun. I always say knowledge is powerful. I'm glad I did this with you. Let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comment section and give me a thumbs up subscribe if you are watching me for the very first time, and don't forget to click on the notification bell icon, get notified anytime I upload a new video. And a very big thank you to Sogazm Ghana for making sure I have enough supply on my set just to teach you. I'm going to leave their details in the description box below. Contact them and make sure you get all your sewing accessories and supplies from Sogazm Ghana. My name is Dr. Clement Asemnyra. Follow me on Instagram at Dr Clement Asemnyra and Fashion Masterclass Africa. See you in the next video. Stay blessed and bye bye.